Hey everyone, welcome back to the show. Today we're doing something a little different. We're going to have Brian walk us through what goes into putting some of the art together that he does for us.
Yes, hi everybody. I'm here at Ben's place, watching the video of me paint, and I am painting the Demi Lich. Yes, and I guess I'll describe kind of how I paint things. I use a type of paint called gouache. It's basically like opaque watercolor, and you mix it with water, and you can use it as a watercolor, or you can paint over the top using heavier style paint. And so what I usually do is lay down what's called washes or glazes of different colors, and then work from a medium to a dark, and then I put my lights and highlights on at the end, which is kind of what I'm doing here.
It's kind of how you paint models, right? Don't you wash models sometimes and then you paint over top of them?
Yeah, I do. I mean, some people use different techniques, but yeah, you can paint figurines and models like that too, using that similar technique.
And so today we're doing the Demi Lich, which we haven't seen yet on the show, but I think it'll be a good walkthrough to kind of talk about what this guy's going to be.
Yeah, so the Demi Lich is basically just a skull, maybe a couple of vertebrae floating around, and his body's gone. So he's not as powerful as a full-bodied lich, I should say. And then liches usually have plenty of jewelry and stuff like that on. They're very rich. And so I put this crown on him, and I found that similar crown. I think it was from an old Spanish or old English king. And then I changed it a little bit.
And then you've got your reference over there on the left.
Yes, so I have the reference of the actual skull that I used as a model and the crown, but I had to change the crown to a different point of view. Yes, and then I have a picture from a book of bones to get the right color. So I wanted that kind of yellowy brown bone color. And so I just used that as a color reference. And then I pick a light spot, and then I put in my shadows, and then paint my lights on top.
And do you use the same brush for the whole thing, or do you use different
No,
ones?
there's usually different sizes. Different sizes are for different things, and basically it sounds silly, but you use big brushes for big stuff, and use little brushes for little stuff. It's really that simple. It works just like that.
And then, so you're getting the crown going here, and this is going to be gold?
Yeah, it's going to be gold. So what I do for my gold is, and this is just generic type gold. If you have specific colors or something or a specific shine or something on it, maybe use a little different technique. But I'll paint what's called raw sienna, and then I put a wash of black on it to give it that kind of a dark, almost like a green tint to it.
Oh yeah, you can see that.
And then I'll put raw sienna over the top again in the lighter areas, and then I'll hit that with either a Naples yellow or a yellow-orange combination, depending on how orange I want my gold. And then you'll put some white highlights on at the end to make it glittery and shiny. Because gold is glittery and shiny.
I like the teeth on this one. Is it just shadow? You get it, kind of make it the same color as the bone, and then you highlight around the outside with the shadow?
Yes. Yeah, that's how you do it. So you can see it's really starting to take form here. It's starting to get real three-dimensional. And I went over with a medium color, and then I start putting in my darks. And so I've put in the majority of the darks for this lich.
It's interesting because you paint it and then you paint over top of it.
Yeah, so you see I'm starting to put lights on my gold on the crown. So I'm outlining, I'm outlining basically where the jewels are encrusted in. So you can see it's starting to pop out.
Yeah. How do you figure out where the light's going to be? You just kind of...
You have to eyeball it, and then you have to be consistent with your shadowing. It can be a little difficult if you have, complicated shapes and things. Lighting could be a little bit of a pain. But as long as you keep everything, as long as you know where your main light source is coming from, and you stick to it, it'll be okay. So
and then you'll go and do the jewels in there last.
Yeah, you'll put the jewels on last because they're kind of shiny, and the jewels are different colors. They're red and blue, and I don't know if there's a green jewel in there. So you see, they're faceted too. So instead of having a smooth jewel, you have faceted jewels. And I had a jewel book that I used. You can see the reference up in the left-hand corner there.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And then I thought, well, let's have this Demi Lich pop out of a black square, because that'll give you that nice jump out too.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm. And then when I put a highlight on it, you'll be able to really see him come off there.
You do the background last.
Sometimes you can. Things like this, you do the background last or kind of last. There's other things I needed to paint over the top, like his hair and things. So I had to paint the background now, because when I put the hair and the misty stuff on, it has to be painted over that. Mm-hmm. So I have to put the black down at this particular time. And you can see that skull now is really just jumping off the page.
Oh, totally.
Yeah.
And the crown's done, or is it not done?
No, the crown is not done. The crown has your darks and mediums in there, but now they need their lights and highlights.
Yeah.
So the lights for the jewels are in, but not the highlights and the shiny bits.
Definitely.
Mm-hmm. And then, of course, when he's jumping out of that square, it's a neat little trick there.
Yeah, it gives it a real, like, three-dimensional.
Mm-hmm. And it goes good for, if it's going to be in the pages of a book or printed in something, it's a nice little vignette that it gives it some background without having to do a big, huge background.
Yeah.
So you can know he's jumping out of the darkness. And see, here I'm putting the pearls on. I just paint those right over the top in a kind of a bluish gray color.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'll be putting highlights and lights on later to make them more three-dimensional.
Gosh, the crown looks very fancy, right, with all of the the jewels and everything.
But as you see, it was pretty simple. We just had a basic, simple shape, and when you add the little jewels to it, it gives it that level of complication. But I'm just painting little circles.
Yeah.
Happy little jewels. happy little pearls.
Happy little jeweled skeleton hat.
Yes, exactly. Uh-huh.
And then how are you going to get the hair on top?
Well, that will be mostly a white, a bluish white. And then that's a very thin brush that you use to small brushy paint. That hair on there. And that's like misty, ragged stuff in here. I'm painting that stuff on. And you smash the brush up a little bit to give it give a little wispiness to it. And you just paint that right on there.
I like adding the light into the eyes. It makes it look more...
Yeah, he's glowing, and he's got that crazy...
He's in a bad mood.
Yeah.
It's going to be a bad time for a party.
Yeah, exactly. And as you can see, I haven't shaved in several days. I got the ragged beard on. Makes me look like a real artist.
Just toiling away at home forever.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, this painting went pretty quick. I mean, it only took one day. It only took really a few hours to paint it. I had more of a problem drawing that freaking crown, to tell you the truth, than I had anything else. So that took the longest, because I had to change the angle. I had a straight-on view of the crown, but I obviously needed to bend it.
Yeah.
To put it on his head. So.
Gosh.
Yeah.
All right. Well, it's looking done. That is the Demi Lich.
Yeah, and at the very end, you see on the left-hand side, you see the little blue highlight there that just ripples right on the end, so it gives him that light coming from another source thing, gives him more three-dimensionality to it.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you so much for watching. We'll see you next time.
Thank you, guys.